Uh, Good morning. This is my first lecture on economics, and economics is a very important subject because when we look at the world of knowledge and reality, so politics is important because that runs the affairs of a state, and then we had political economy where wealth, money, currency, income distribution, income generation, wealth distribution, all these things also became important. So sometimes, we have like three approaches: politics, economics, and cultural. And when we go towards more knowledge-based discussion, so we also include philosophy, social sciences, natural sciences, psychology, and other humanities. So basically, economics is one of the important pillar of human society, human knowledge, as well as the human thought development. So today I will focus on only two for 5 to 6 minutes on two important terms. One is economics itself, and the other is economy. What is economics and what is economy? So let us first define uh, what is economics. As it is introductory lecture, so economics, like, it is a social science that studies the production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services. This is one of the important definition of economics. Number one, it is a social science, and what it studies the production, how things are, goods and services are produced, how it is distributed, and how these are consumed. Goods and services. Goods like material goods, what we can touch. Services are, for example, you are in a hotel, and the hotel provide you services like tourism. So these are services. In subsequent lectures, I will go in detail, but today I'm focused on the definition of economics. So how goods and services are produced, distributed, and consumed. For example, we have factors of production: land, labor, capital, organization. So how these things, how goods and services are produced, so we call it production. Then this, when these goods and services are produced, so these may be distributed also to the consumers, and when how these are consumed. So this whole science, social science, is called economics, and because it is related to society, that's why it is social science. It is not related to nature, not like chemistry or biology, in which we study, our physics, in which we study matter itself. We study the application of goods and services in different aspects. Economics focuses on the behavior and interactions of economic agents and how economies work. So economic agents, there are different economic agents. So we focus that how economies work and what is the behavior and interaction of economic agents. We will discuss later who are economic agents. Microeconomics analyzes basic elements in the economy, including individual agents and markets, their interactions, and the outcomes of interactions. So when we study behavior, so as these are economic agents, individuals and markets, so how the attitudes, behavior, response to stimulus is change in environment, how these the behavioral aspect of economics. That's why economics is a social science. It is a science. It is not just humanity or art or literature. It is a science, but social science. Individual agents may include, for example, households, firms, buyers, and sellers. So when households, families, firms, buyers, and sellers, so this is the scope of microeconomics. Macroeconomics analyzes the entire economy, meaning aggregated production, consumption, savings, and investment, and issues affecting it. including unemployment of resources, labor, capital, and land, inflation, economic growth, and the public policies that address these issues, monetary, fiscal, and other policies. So here we have a very important differentiation between microeconomics and macroeconomics. Microeconomics, the unit is household, unit is an individual buyer, unit is a seller. While in macroeconomics, we study aggregated production together at the state level or the economy level, and then we study investment, savings, consumption, unemployment, inflation, different policies. So all these, when we study at macro level, major level, then that is called macroeconomics. Other broad distinctions within economics include those between positive economics, describing what is, and normative economics, educating what ought to be, between economic theory and applied economics, between rational and behavioral economics, and between mainstream economics and heterodox economics. These are other branches of economics which are very important. We discuss macroeconomics and microeconomics. Positive economics. Positivism is a philosophy in which the reality is studied as it is, the reality, the real situation. Positive economics. Normative economics is how the things should be. Like sometimes you change the economic policies. What should be the demand of society, what the people want. So we change our economic policies according to situation. So that is called normative economics. While positive economics, what it is like a pure science, like chemistry, biology. In this sense, economics becomes like a natural science, the reality as it is. Then we have economic theory. We discuss different economic models and economic theories, while the other is applied economics. When we apply economics to economy in the real sense, then it becomes applied economics. Rational economics and behavioral economics. Rational choice theory, like the different users, the people who are involved in economy, they use rationality or their behavioral aspects. Mainstream economics, which is the new classical economics, in which supply and demand, that is focused. While heterodox economics is that kind of economics in which we go against the mainstream economics. Like, for example, the Marx, communism, feminism, such aspects, when we study in economics, then it becomes heterodox. Heterodox means not orthodox, not normal. That is, which is like different from the normal approach. So here we discussed what is economics. Now I will come to the second part of my lecture, and that is economy. What is economy? So we can say that economics is the study of economy. Now, when we study what is economy, so the word economy is taken from a Greek word which means household or how to manage. So an economy is an area, is the study of production, distribution, or trade and consumption of goods and services by different agents. Understood in its broadest sense, the economy is defined as a social domain that emphasizes the practices, discourses, and material expressions associated with the production, use, and management of resources. How the resources are produced, how these resources are managed. So this process or this study is called economy. Economic agents can be individuals, businesses, organizations, or governments. Economic transactions occur when two parties agree to the value or price of transacted good or service, commonly expressed in a certain currency. Monetary transactions only account for a small part of the economic domain. Economic activity is spurred by production, which uses natural resources, labor, and capital. It has changed over time due to technology, automation, accelerator of process, reduction of cost functions, innovation, new products, services, processes, new markets, expands markets, diversification of markets, niche markets, increases revenue functions, such as that which produces intellectual property and changes in industrial relations. For example, child labor being replaced in some parts of the world with universal access to education. A given economy is the result of a set of processes that involves its culture, values, education, technological evolution, history, social organization, political structure, and legal systems, as well as its geography, natural resource endowment, and ecology as main factors. These factors give context, content, and set the conditions and parameters in which an economy functions. In other words, the economic domain is a social domain of human practices and transactions. It does not stand alone. A market-based economy is where goods and services are produced and exchanged according to demand and supply between participants, economic agents, by barter or medium of exchange with a credit or debit value accepted within the network, such as a unit of currency. A command-based economy is where political agents directly control what is produced and how it is sold and distributed. A green economy is a low-carbon, resource-efficient, and socially inclusive. In a green economy, growth in income and employment are driven by public and private investments that reduce carbon emissions and pollution, enhance energy and resource efficiency, and prevent the loss of biodiversity and ecosystem services. So in today's lecture, I try to discuss with you economics and economy. So simply we can say that economics is the study of economy. The subject matter is economy and the subject is economics. The subject is economics, while the subject matter is economy. Now, when we go in the definition of economics, so we see that we have natural resources, and then we have financial resources, and then we have human resources. When we combine all these resources, so the result is economy, management. Endowment, for example, if there is you have some resources, you have some capital, financial capital, and then you utilize that capital for investment, for income generation, then that is called endowment. It has been endowed, it has been bestowed upon you. So there are different models. Like one is market economy. You demand and supply. The market forces itself generate such situation that when there is more demand, there will be more supply. And the other is command, like in communism or socialism, in which the government controls what should be produced, what should be distributed, and what should be consumed. I was in Cuba for more than 4 or 5 years. And in Cuba, the government produces everything. Then the government distributes everything. Even the pizza shops, the taxis, everything that is controlled by the government. And consumers, even the government sends food to the houses of each and every person. So that is an ideal form of communism in a country like Cuba, while the rest of the world that has been now converted to free market economy. What should be the role of the government? The role of the government is regulatory. The government should create such a situation where the economic agents come themselves and then they continue the economic processes. The government should not be involved. Government should not be an economic agent. Government should not be the entity or the institution which is creating wealth, goods and services, distributing it, and government may consume, because government is also people, bureaucracy and public administration and ministers and prime minister, president, they are also human beings. So they can consume, but they should not be the producers. And when they consume, they are a common consumer. So this whole discussion we study in economics. It's a very interesting now green economics, like pollution, environment, what we should produce. Should we produce a lot of wealth, or we should produce wealth not at the cost of nature, environment? That is also important. Natural resources, for example, we have a lot of natural resources. Should we destroy all the mountains for minerals? Should we destroy all the trees for timber and lumber and fuel? Should we destroy each and every natural resource that we have? So these questions are also very interesting questions now in the modern economics. In the industrialization time, when the people were living in jungles and forests, so at that time the nature was totally safe. Now, after the industrialization age, enlightenment, renaissance, and reformation, a lot of industrial growth is coming. So now the human being is again becoming sensitization that we should not destroy our nature. So economics is not a boring subject. It is not just only related to money, wealth, income generation, but it also it is a social science. So it is involved with society, and society is involved in economics. So we can make it a very interesting subject to study. And as it is from the household, so each and every person is an economic agent. What we earn, how we manage our income. So in the micro level, and then at the macro level, and then very interesting is heterodox economics, which is beyond this supply and demand, which goes beyond. There are some other aspects of, like feminism. Feminism is also involved in economics, that women are better economic producers, economic agents, men, and then say that there should be gender equality. So that we study in feminism economics. So nice of you, mixed economy is there. For example, in the United States, they say that the less government, the better government. So when you have more government, more control, more regulation, then the human being feels to be controlled by another authority. So freedom is always good. Government should only facilitate. Government should not be the economic actor itself, economic agent itself. Government should only facilitate security, communication, transport, roads, construction, railway. This should be the role of the government, while private agents, human beings, they should be economic agents, not the government. This is my personal approach. So see you in the next lecture. Please, if it's possible, to make a summary of this lecture in the economics group.